Hello, everyone. So I see a lot of people out there, and they've got this whole atheism, God, it doesn't exist because if he did, he would be just so evil. You know, because he lets terrible things happen to children. No, people that are horrible let terrible things happen to children. Lack of community allows that to happen. So I'll tell you what, my kids are gonna get fucking fucked with or whatever. Because I watch them all the time. I don't allow them to be in those kinds of places around those types of people. Another big one is, and when you don't have community is when you have places where evil ends up thriving. And here you go, baby. And places where evil thrives, evil things happen. And that also comes down to lack of community and generational lack of community. And that's not God's fault. That's y'all's fucking fault. It's y'all's fucking daddy's fucking fault. If that's the place you live in. And if you still live there, that's your fucking fault for not breaking the cycle and moving on. It ain't God's fault. People are always looking for someone else to blame. And when there's nobody else to blame, they like to blame their problems on God. No, the world's not fucked up because God let it become fucked up. It's because there's a lot of situations where good men didn't do anything. They just stood back and allowed nothing to happen. A lot of communities that fell apart. I'm going to have to come back to this in a minute. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. So back to the atheism thing. Okay, and the other big argument is parasites. It's like, then why are all these babies and people getting parasites in Africa? Well, that's because they don't boil their water and they fucking shit in the same water that they bathe and drink from. You don't shit where you eat. I mean, that's like rule number one. I mean, come on. Anointed with oils is a thing. You ever fucked a thyme oil? You can talk about some athlete's foot. Like, thyme oil is so strong. You dilute it 10 times with water and the shit'll cure athlete's foot in like one fucking treatment. That shit's fucking serious. You could touch it with your finger and put it on a pimple. That shit will be gone tomorrow. I mean, the skin's still gonna have to heal from the trauma of the zit itself, but it's out there, and then you have things like the alpha and the beta pinene, like with turpentine. The knowledge is out there, and if you seek it, you will be blessed with those cures. If you just rely on the white coat effect with doctors and things like that, and rely on people in positions of authority to tell you what to do and how to live your life, then you're going to be in a bad position. So, at the end of the day, it ain't God's fault. He gave us free will for a reason. He put everything out here and said, you've got to figure it out. And without community, and family, you can't pass these things down. With my grandmother just passing away and the knowledge that she passed down to me is it's absolutely priceless. And then you have all these people where their bloodlines are just going to die with them. And that's totally fine. But it ain't God's fault that he didn't bring you a man or a woman. It's not God's fault that somebody's fat and ugly. There's a lot of contributing factors to different things, as you're growing up, to the shape of your face and things that you've been injected with, and the things you eat, you're gonna shine in outside what's on the inside, And I mean, unless you have like a terrible disease, which is sometimes due to genetics and inbreeding, like the Ashkenazi Jews. They have got more genetic diseases than any other individual genetically patterned race of people. Why is that? Because they're fucking inbred. Not because God did it. And that's just the way it is. People want somebody to come and save them. You know, okay, the rapture, okay? Think about an anthill. Alright? We can compare rapture to an anthill. Okay, I can sit there and squish the ants I can see with my finger and go rapture, 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 rapture. And then poison the rest of them. It doesn't mean, and in a way, there's certain members of my family, like my dad, like dying like pre-COVID and like I mean right before all this shit hit the fan. In a way, he was spared a lot. I mean, I don't know, but just because of the way that he lived, he would have to live with me and he wouldn't do really well in the world the way it is now. And because a lot of people are suffering really bad. They are not doing well in the world the way it is now. There are so many new homeless. It is unbelievable. I mean, there's tent cities popping up in places where there were no tent cities ever. You know, they for years, in Hinesville, Georgia, it was illegal to be homeless on the streets of Hinesville. Now, it's gotten so bad that I don't even think that they can enforce that law because there's so many people that they would have to house in the jail systems because of it. And is that because God didn't save them? No, it has to do with people and legislation and good men in high positions who stood by and did nothing while all of these terrible things happened. And I don't know. That's just, I feel sad for the people that cannot pray for strength from within. You know, they're so wrapped up in the flesh and themselves, the only things that they can pray for is physical things in the body. Like, God, please, look, I need to make this $1,000. I need $1,000. You don't pray for $1,000. You pray for the strength to bust your ass through the work week to make $1,000, if that's what it is. You know, you pray for the strength from within. It's not gifted to you. And that's where all this privilege shit comes in, you know. Equality. Fuck equality. Because I worked harder than you, I gotta fucking suffer. I gotta live in a smaller fucking house because a stupid bunch of fucking bitches didn't want to pay their fucking rent. I gotta have, like, defects, like, creeping and crawling out there. I mean, they don't fuck with me, but I mean, out there and lurking and looking at kids in the schools because other parents don't take care of their fucking kids. And I mean, that's not an issue I have. It's just an example of the way that bad people fuck up good things, you know. And it has nothing to do with God not existing. It has nothing to do with, oh, we live in this hellscape. And we do kind of live in a hellscape. And shit's super fucked up. But at the same time, you can make it. You know, we can survive these things. You just have to know how to do it. And it takes a lot of research and a lot of knowledge and sifting through a lot of bullshit. And so many people are so apt to just waste their whole day flicking through their phones They're not learning a fucking thing. They're watching dumb shit, and you know what? That's exactly what you want. So, anybody who watches this video, whenever you catch yourself just having nothing to do and you're just flipping through videos and you realize that you've been sucked into that trap, fucking stop and go do something fucking, I don't know, worth a shit. Y'all have a good night.